Hey, good evening, everybody. JD here, going solo tonight without Clayton. He had something going on with church. He couldn't make the show, so you guys got me tonight. As usual, we'll start the show off. Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people shall not be infringed. And we'll start something right away. A show. We got a GoFundMe account going. Great, lifelong friend of mine. Two of them actually. Marty Beard and his wife, Crystal. She ends up, she's got cancer, and guys, go on GoFundMe. It's Crystal Beard family. Help the Beards out. Chris, I mean, couldn't find a nicer person in the world. I've known Chris and Marty since the mid 80s. Bad situation here for them. You put them in your prayers and go on GoFundMe and help them out. They need it. It's a bad deal. You know, just get on there and help the Beards out, please. There's some great people. Everybody knows Marty, and Chris is awesome too. So, all right. So tonight's show, I'm gonna get some comments here real quick before I go any further here. It's like I said, it's just me. So. Trampa, hey, good evening, Trampus. Josh Patterson, what's up, Josh? Thanks for joining us. Eric Newman, evening, everyone. Waylon Turnus, evening, Waylon. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. Dan Brown, good evening, Dan. One Shop Cap, good evening, Patriots. Brian Warner, good evening, fellow MVEs. Absolutely, Brian. Hey, Lynette, glad you're here too. Gene Cox, rock on. JD, you rock on. Gene, you do rock. Josh Patterson, Marty's a great guy there in my prayer. Appreciate that, Josh. And trust me, if you've never met Marty's wife, Chris, she's awesome. I met Chris, my first girlfriend I ever had, Jen Maher. Chris was sorry. Chris is friends with her, and that's how I met Chris. But sorry, getting a little choked up about that, but okay, we're gonna just go on with the show here. Appreciate everybody with the comments here, and good evening to everybody. Again, so tonight's show we're gonna hit on some gun control stuff right away. I got one little article here, and then I'm gonna kind of keep it, gear and hunting, shooting kind of specific. Honestly, I would I would rather talk about that than gun control stuff. But it's in my wheelhouse, so that's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing we're going to hit on here this evening, Biden-Harris administration. Of course, they're trying to pass gun control, and that hasn't been working too well for them, right? They cooked up a scheme to use taxpayer dollars, our money, to incentivize states to pass laws that punish gun owners. Great, right? It's not bad enough that our tax dollars are used against us a ton already, but now we got it going against this. What they're calling it is the Safer States Initiative. Basically, they want each state to appoint a gun control czar. That's always great, right? To have another czar, if you're using it from the old Russian terminology there, to help enact Second Amendment prohibition. Everything from criminalizing private transfers to banning, of course, black rifles. And trust me, it's way more than that. And of course, the red flag laws. That's on their agenda. In fact, I'll give you a little rundown here of their blueprint. Basically, establishing a state office of gun violence prevention. Oh yeah, that's always good. That's always great. Gun violence. The gun's not committing the violence. People with guns are. So let's get after them first. Investing in evidence-informed solutions to prevent and respond to gun violence, including community violence interventions, crime gun intelligence centers, and implementation of extreme risk protection. There's red flag laws, take your guns away before they prove you've done anything wrong or you're guilty of anything. Strengthen support for survivors and victims of gun violence. All right, I'd probably be on board with that one a little bit. I mean, there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. Some people, obviously a bunch of people probably are traumatized by that. Reinforcing responsible gun ownership by requiring safe storage of firearms and reporting lost and stolen firearms. Requiring safe storage. I don't know if that's responsible. There's some people who are irresponsible with their firearms. Maybe I store a lot of my guns, but guns that I use to defend my family and my house and myself. Why would I want those locked up? I need those at the ready. Strengthening gun background checks by enacting universal background checks legislation and removing barriers to complete enhanced background checks. And I'm going to hold the "and" there and go with this first part. Enacting universal background checks. Again, the latest mass shooting that we've had in Vegas. The guy passed a background check, as did basically all of these guys. Criminals don't care less about background checks. I mean, I know we hit on this a lot, but I mean, they're going to keep saying it. We're going to keep saying it. Criminals couldn't care less. They'll have like gangbangers. It's proven they take their girlfriends to the gun shop, point out what they want. Their girlfriends buy it. They don't have a that can pass a background check. So I mean, you can do that to anything you want, and it's not going to matter. And a lot of criminals, I think they've done a test. These criminals in penitentiaries, you know where they get most of their guns? They steal the damn things from people. So I don't know. You need a background check if you're going to steal a gun, right? So and holding the gun industry accountable by banning assault weapons and high capacity magazines and enacting firearm specific liability laws to ensure that victims of gun violence have their day in court. The gun industry is accountable. Again with this crap. If a gun malfunctions and doesn't work properly and somebody's injured, yes, you can't. I mean, it's a law. There's already a law. You can't sue the gun manufacturers because somebody uses their gun in a crime to kill somebody or shoot somebody or commit a robbery. It's not the gun's fault. You know, you can't sue. Do people sue Louisville Bat Company because actually bats kill more people than AR-15s do? Do people sue Louisville or whoever makes bats anymore? I don't know. I don't play softball anymore. DeMarini or whoever, because they club somebody over the head and kill them. No, you can't do that. It's not the damn bat's fault, you know. But Mark Oliva, the managing director of the National Shooting Sports Foundation, said the White House, knowing that their gun control wish list doesn't stand a chance in Congress, is looking to outsource their Second Amendment prohibition agenda to the states. Exactly. You know, give our money. Hey, here's some money, man, which I'm going to get into here shortly. This includes franchising a taxpayer expense offices similar to that of the Office of Gun Violence Prevention that are staffed with former gun control lobbyists. You know, Biden and Kamala Harris started this, and they're right. It is Gabby Giffords and all these gun organizations, Moms Demand Confiscation. That's who's in there. So imagine if let's just say President Trump was elected and he established a pro Second Amendment office in the way and put Wayne LaPierre in charge. The leftists would go freaking ape shit over that. I think it'd be great, but you know, whatever. That's me. Yeah, I mean, why? Geez, you got an office in there that's going to protect your civil rights. We need one in there like Biden had that takes away your civil rights. These guys are such hypocrites. It's unbelievable. And again, we're buying guns using our tax dollars. People who own guns and love our Second Amendment civil rights, they have an office in there to take away that right. Oliva also noted the administration's alignment with the Soros family. I think a lot of our watchers and listeners know George Soros is. Big leftist, hates America, puts money into destroying this country, is funding and perpetuating a tyrannical agenda on gun control. Absolutely he is. Using taxpayer dollars to, this is my opinion, using taxpayer dollars to to fund civil rights infringements. Does that sound right? No, it doesn't sound right. Well, what if he did that to the First Amendment rights? You know, hey, I want an office in there to just shut Democrats up. How would that work? Yeah, that wouldn't go very far. I don't. I think a lot of stuff they say is ridiculous and anti-American, but you're right. You know, but guess what? That doesn't mean states aren't going to line up to take this money. As we all know, the lure of federal funding will prove too sweet for a lot of these states not to do it, right? And I'm not even saying North Dakota's immune to that. You know, guess what? We passed a seatbelt law here. You know why? Because federal funding. And Governor Burgum and his wife thought that was a freaking great idea. So he hasn't signed any gun control, but he did in the past. I mean, signal that he would be. I believe it was red flag laws and something else that he said he might have been in favor of. But whatever, you know, it's just more stuff. That's piling up with the way our government is against the people here lately. And hey, I would just recommend right now, go ahead, not right at this exact moment, but sometime in the next couple of days, call your representatives, email the governor's office, whoever, and say, they say no to this great gun control idea that Joe Biden has of giving the states money to do it. So I'm gonna catch up on some comments here because I missed a few here. So, all right, Mike Deacons, hello, hey Mike, how you doing? Good to hear from you. And I believe when I got this show next week left, I think Michael Deacons is gonna be Clay's guest a lot of times on here in his cohort. My mom, Paul Odegaard, praying for. Whoops, sorry, I missed that. Praying for Chris and family every day. Appreciate that, Mom. Eric Newman, hold the government accountable for all the crime that happens from the border jumpers that they refuse to try and keep out. We can do that if they want to hold gunmen. Exactly, Eric. And guess what? The governor of Texas wants to arrest them, and the Biden administration and the DOJ are all up in arms about him, trying to shut him down now. I got a message here from Marty. He says, thanks, brother. Marty, you're welcome. The love of my life is battling the worst of the worst brain cancers, but she believes in our Savior, Jesus Christ, and we are fighting this with both gloves off. I have no doubt about that, Marty. Man, you're welcome. Again, you're my prayers, and you're my mom's, and everybody listening to the show. You're top-notch people. It just blows my mind when something like this has to happen to great people. Dave Fettig says, howdy, Jamie. Howdy, Dave. Howdy, Dave. I tell you what, and so like I said, we're going to stick with, I'm going to stick with, we got one more comment here. Doug Wolf, they will threaten to take federal money if it's not. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they'll do. Hey, you guys want some money? Which always baffles me, because if I was a governor, I would be like, you're going to keep federal money? Well, then we're not going to pay you guys any federal taxes from the state. We're going to keep all the oil revenue without paying you taxes. And if you don't like it, send your boys in, and we'll just get the militia riled up here and see what happens. Because I bet you any money, Uncle Joe, the meat puppet, would not challenge that. Just like when the boys, the Bundy boys, did that down in Vegas to Obama. Anyway, before we go to our first, we got a break coming up here in about 5 minutes. But like I said, we're gonna be gear heavy, kind of like a two-way bullet points thing. But I'm gonna kind of do the whole show with that. And I wish I was Clay, because some people are asking me to send this link for Chris and Marty. I'll tell you what it is. It is, just go to GoFundMe.com. And I'm not familiar with how GoFundMe works, but look, I guess if you can search in the search bar, Crystal with a C, Crystal Beard, Beard family, and I think it'll come up. And Chris and Marty's sister-in-law Treva is the organizer of this fundraiser. So she started it 9 hours ago, and I'll tell you what, people are coming out in droves here to donate. They already passed their first goal, so let's keep this rocking. I'm quite certain Clayton and I are going to donate to this, and I hope everybody listening does too. So go to that GoFundMe, Crystal Beard family, and do the right thing there. So anyway, again, I'm going to start this off. Everybody knows who's listened to the show, I'm a big Ruger American fan, right? And all right, Scott Odegaard, thank you, Scotty. My prayers are with your family, Marty. Appreciate that, Scott. I'm a big fan of the Ruger American, which has been around for, I think, over a decade now. I mean, for the price you pay for this rifle, it shoots freaking awesome. I do have a few issues with it, which I'll get into when I'm going through this. Now, there's the Ruger American Gen 2 has came out, which looks, it is a big leap from the first one. This thing doesn't look anything. It almost, to me, looks like a custom rifle. And the old Ruger Americans, the standards, came with 22-inch barrels, as did the Predators, and the Predators had a threaded muzzle. And they had the Ranch rifle with the 16-inch, which I have that too. And that came threaded too. But these new Ruger American Gen 2s are coming with the 20-inch. It's spiral fluted, cold hammer forged. Apparently the cold hammer forged, they say it's more accurate. Our buddy Dave Fettig on here would probably know about that a lot more than me. I've had barrels that weren't cold hammer forged that shot half-inch groups too. And I think all of these now, they come standard with the barrel threaded. I mean, suppressors are getting so popular that that everything has to be threaded pretty much. And man, I hope we can get control of this next election cycle and get rid of this stupid $200 tax stamp. But so the barrels threaded. It comes with a radio muzzle brake, and I will say I have radio muzzle brakes. They work pretty damn good. They're not quite as loud as a gill brake. A gill brake will damn near blow your teeth out, in my opinion. But and the barrel, the receiver, the muzzle brake, and the bolt handle, they're all Cerakote, which is an awesome feature. Cerakote is great. I think Cerakote's the best coating you can put on these guns to keep them waterproof and whatnot. And the new stock, Dave's got a comment here. I was just mentioning, Dave, he said the Ruger American stock has been terrible floppy soft. I hope the new ones are always. Dave is right there too. You know, I haven't noticed that it is kind of floppy, but as far as accuracy goes with the ones I've had, I mean, they've all been sub MOA for sure, with some factory ammo, but reloaded ammo for sure. It's been sub MOA for me. Dave, it doesn't look like it. If you go on Ruger's website, it looks like it's a different kind of composite stock. But anyway, it's got the new stock features: Monte Carlo S contour raised cheek piece. It is different than just the old straight one. I didn't have a problem with the older one, but the cheek piece can be lowered or raised via available accessories from Ruger, so they'll probably hook you with that a little bit. Length of pull and comb height is adjustable as well, which, you know, I've had rifles with that, and I don't know, maybe I'm just a rockhead. I never found the adjustable height on the comb or any of that to help me out. The length of pull's been all right on some of them. Ruger's patented, of course, they kept this power, the Ruger power bedding. It's got like the 4 blocks in the receiver, and it keeps it, you know, it's supposed to keep the barrel free float. I don't know, it kind of touches the stock on some of them, but man, it works. Like I said, they're all accurate. They work great. And the trigger, of course, 3 to 4 pound Ruger Marksman adjustable, which I do like the trigger on the Rugers. And the one I got from Dave there, that 6.5 Grendel, it was great. I turned it all the way down as low as I could. It shot. I mean, the trigger was great. You can buy another spring from, man, I can't think of the M Carbo, I think, out of Florida. This other spring, and it makes it even better. It makes it an even better trigger. But and they even thought, like, you put additional weight in the butt to, like, either balance out the gun more or absorb more recoil. I mean, I think that if you keep that radio brake on our suppressor, you're not going to need something like that. It's going to be plenty of recoil is going to get sucked up. And I've never really had too many rifles I thought were off balance other than bull barrels for offhand shooting. But if you get a regular size barrel, your standard contour barrel, and once you put a bipod on it, it messes with the balance of it. But I'm so used to that. I'm going to get into some bipods later here, but if I get a chance, and I'm getting pretty windy on you guys, but so it comes, of course, the Gen 2 steel receiver comes with, it's got the rail on it, which all the other Rugers, I mean, I guess I don't know if the standard American did, but for sure the Predator and the Ranch did. 70-degree bolt throw. It just keeps it away from when you got you don't want it to come up too far to hit your scope or anything, get in the way of that. And they said, here's one of the problems I had. They said Ruger has improved the finish of the bolt action for slicker manipulation. The old bolt, that thing was like zzz, it almost made a noise from the machining on it. It wasn't smooth, which maybe it was a cost-saving thing they did for labor, but it wasn't a big problem for me. Some people it bugged the shit out of them, and they said they tightened up the tolerances, and I mean the bolt maybe was a little sloppier in there. And this year too, comes with a 3-round detachable box magazine. I don't know if they improved that. If it's that rotary one, that thing sucked. We talked about that on the show before. Dan Brown, I think we were talking about it too. But there's different models. If you get them, you make sure you get the ones. They do make I think not only the rotary, but like a 3-round stack, and then they make the ones with the AR mag. Depending on what caliber you get, I always recommend going with the ones that take the AR mag, because I mean they're so dialed in. It's great. And if you're wondering what calibers they come in and chambered in here, 6.5 Creed, of course, 204 Ruger, which is kind of odd to me. I know they're Ruger, but man, there's not many people that shoot the 204 anymore. 223 Remington. Yeah, I mean, God's cartridge. 308 Win. Yeah, I mean, that's still a hammer. Love it. 7mm 08 and the 450 Bushy. So other calibers will be available. So, and of course, I mean, they're going to have, I guarantee, a 7mm mag, and they're just 30-06. They probably got them, but this particular article didn't mention that. And with just some more little more spec stuff here before we hit the first commercial. $729 MSRP, so knock $100 off of that. Yeah, it's not probably as cheap as the old Americans were, but it's it's an improved rifle. It's an improved. I guarantee this thing's going to be. I'll promise you, it's going to be a great rifle. So just for the Ruger Gen 2, they got their one they just put up here. 6.5 Creed. It weighs 6.5 pounds. 41.2 inches, 20-inch barrel, 3-round capacity. And this would be the one I would recommend here. Depending on what caliber. If you want a bigger caliber, this ain't going to work. But the Gen 2 Ruger Ranch takes the chambered in 5.56, so it safely can shoot 223 or 5.56. And threaded barrel, 16.1 inches. Of course, Cerakoted, just like the other one, 1/2 inch by 28 on the 5.56 and the threaded barrel. 6.2 pounds, so it's a little lighter. 1 and 8, a right hand twist. 1 and 8 is actually God's twist on the 223 and 5.56. 37 and 3.5 inches. That comes in same price, $729. So that's, if you're looking for a new rifle and decent price, Ruger American, that's going to be pretty sweet here. I'm going to hit a few comments before we go to our first break here. Let's see here, going back up here, Josh. I'm going to have a story about Josh here a little later in the show too. His son got his first archery buck. He said, my daughter has a Ruger American Compact. It flat shoots. It shoots lots of sub-MOA groups. It even got the same whole group one day, all with factory. Yeah, Josh, they're factory soft points of a couple different brands I shot out of mine are freaking awesome. He said hers is a 243. Dave Fetty said this new stock will make felt recoil considerably less. Weatherby has been using them for years. Okay, sounds good. And Gen 1 could use a great deal of improvement. He put barreled actions on and a chassis. Polished the bolt, cleaned up the bolt raceways, touched up the firing pin, and got them. Oh man, he's going 0.125 inch to him. Man, that's awesome, man. Leon likes that God's twist. Absolutely, Leon 1 and 8. It loves soft. There you go. Josh said it loves soft points. So all right, guys, we're gonna do our first commercial here, and bear with me if I'm not as fast as I should be on this because it's just me doing it. So do our first commercial break here. We're gonna come back. And we're going to stick with rifles here for a little bit. So here we go.
Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Absolutely. And don't forget, if you patronize Lauer Auto Repair or any of our other sponsors, make sure you tell them you appreciate them sponsoring shows like Guns in the 701. They like to hear it. In fact, hey, when they hear that people are coming in and they heard it on here, that just encourages them to keep sponsoring the show, which we couldn't do it without them guys, and they're awesome, man. In fact, Dougie, I got a little Christmas present I'm gonna bring down for you and the boys probably tomorrow. I've been there a couple of times this week, but all right. So like I said, we're gonna stick. Like I said, I got a bunch of shorter stuff here. We're gonna stick with rifles right now, I'm sorry if I'm boring you. This is just, if you tuned in to hear about a bunch of political stuff, I kind of went over that with the first thing there, Biden's new gun bribery to the states with money. So no, we're gonna stick with some gear and shooting and deer hunting, and then I do have a funny story about guns coming up later, kind of a Crooksby stupid story. So Savage Arms announced an expansion to its brand and product line with 2 polymer bipod offerings. And some people think bipods are boring. I love bipods. I have bipods on pretty much all my rifles except my 22s and one shit hit the fan AR I got, which is I like it keeping it light like that. It's kind of a move around offhand, and we're gonna do some videos with it if I want to shoot junk ammo. It is suppressed, but yeah, there's no suppressor on it, or bipod on it. I love my dad hates bipods. He's old school. He leans over something, but man, I like to, if I see something prone out, and to me, you just get a better shot that way. Sometimes you don't have a chance to, like I did in deer hunting this year, but in the earliest, I did put two in the kill zone. Didn't work out for me on that with the ammo I was using, but we went over that already. So the new the new Savage bipods feature a toothless sling swivel mount and buttonless leg rotation and quick deployment, which is good. You hit the button, poof, pop out. The bipods are made of lightweight polymer blend to make them ideal for hunters and shooters in a wide variety of scenarios. I like this too. They come in 2 options: M-lock and sling swivel. All my ARs have M-lock floor ends on them. M-lock that's the way to go in my opinion. A sling swivel, we got a sling swivel on lots of traditional rifles, which is cool too. Put it right on there. These offerings, of course, they can't, which is good, and swivel capabilities are designed, and they got like a rubber footprints so they don't slip around when you put them down. Some, my Harris, it kind of does that, man, because I'm a big Harris guy. They fold up and deploy easily for versatility in the field. Now, if you're curious, I did mention Harris bipods. I think a lot of hunters and shooters know about the Harris. I'll compare them. I compared 3 of them here, the Harris and the Magpul. I do like the Magpuls. A couple of my buddies have them. I'm a fan of those too. I'm not like against any of these bipods. I'm just giving you my opinion here. So the new Savage comes in at 11 ounces, and it's $100 on their Savage's website. It's $100. So actually, the Savage comes in here at like the most affordable price. The Harris and that Savage goes from 7.2 inches to 10 inches. The Harris, this is the one I have. The Harris S, 13.5 ounces. So ounces equal pounds when you're putting stuff on your gun. That's considerably heavier to me than 11 ounces, but you get the 9 to 13. You get a little higher deployment with it. And I'd look just today, the Harris S, $128 at Midway. It'd probably be $10 cheaper at Shields, but they figure that out with the cost or wherever you buy your stuff. And the Magpul, same weight as the Savage, 11 ounces. And that goes from 6.3 inches to 10.3. So it's a little longer. And that was $109 at Midway USA. I would buy the Magpul myself because Magpul's a great American company who left a commie state to move to a great American state to keep making their products. And most of their stuff's made for ARs, but they do make stuff for they're starting to make a lot more stuff for bolt action. In fact, Ruger American, they make stocks for them. The Magpul Hunter, I think it's called, but looks pretty badass. I like it. I've never bought one because I was just thought the regular Ruger stock were great for me. But if you're into a bipod, there you go. I don't know if you guys got any comment on that. Leon, all right. Leon said, I'll be up that way Friday, Doug. All right. Hey, Leon, all right, get that. Maybe you and Doug, you can do. Oh, heck, I might be around. We might do some Christmas shooting. If anything, Leon, let's get together and have some eggnog. We'll do a review on some eggnog, maybe. Eric says, I wonder how the pudding reaction will stand up to snow that gets. Yeah, actually, Eric, I think the button on the back of that, if you look it up on Savage's website, it looks like a pretty good button. I kind of read, I don't want to get too far into it, but if you read into it yourself, it sounds like it's kind of sealed up to fight off stuff like that. It's pretty sweet. Yeah. Brian Warner says, Jamie, you got Mama Joe's mouth watering for an upgrade to her Predator now. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. You look at that rifle. That new Ruger looks badass, man. I'm not kidding you. And no, Ruger doesn't sponsor me and Clay. You know, I wish somebody did, but I'd definitely take one of them new Rugers. They look badass. I like them. So, kind of talking with rifles and deer hunting here. We're going to head down to Nebraska here. 28-year-old Samantha Comenzid received a marriage proposal after dropping a big buck on a hunt near Philly, Nebraska. Philly or Filey. And I did see the picture of Samantha, a young lady here, pretty hot, man. And her boyfriend here, Cole Burrs, he's 32 years old, guy, good-looking young fella, too. They look like they're going to make a great couple. Gave her the first shot on a monster buck in early November. And, of course, Samantha made a shot count, dropped this nice big buck. And after she shot the deer, Burrs told her he brought along a professional photographer to capture the successful hunt. But as Samantha and Burrs approached the deer to take photos, he dropped to one knee and asked her to marry him, which the professional photographer captured the moment. If you want to see the picture, you can go on Breitbart, or pretty much I imagine if you searched it, it would come up. Nice picture, beautiful picture, him and her, nice buck. I wouldn't say it's a monster, but it is a damn nice whitetail buck. And she of course she said yes, and she also said everybody's been saying they would marry him too if they let them shoot that big of a deer. And probably some guys would probably marry him for that. You know, hey buddy, take the God, I'll marry you. Just let me kill that big buck. But and CBS News noted that Comenzid and Burrs, they've been dating for 3 years. And one of the things the couple bonded over is that they shared their love of hunting. Okay, well, she was into it before then even. And, of course, he said, and I get this feeling, too, my buddies shoot deer, my dad or anybody. He said he was just as happy to see her harvest the deer as if he got it himself. So, which I agree with, man. I love seeing people do that kind of stuff. Even my buddy got his doe this year. I was getting jacked up for that, but maybe that's kind of weird. I mean, I'm too into deer hunting, but I love the whole thing. Leon says he's going to bring a toy or two. Sounds good. Dougie got the thumbs up. Matt Simon, boss move. Absolutely boss move, Matt. That is. I couldn't agree with you more. Lynette says very cool. Very cool. And we're going to stick with, I'm going to go with, well, we got a few more deer topics here. This one, not as happy as the last one. So, I mean, if you think I'm going all over the map here, like I said, we're going to be banging on a lot of different topics here. I may drop something on you guys here just to, get your opinion on some things. I love interacting with the audience here in the chats. It's one of the best things about doing this kind of thing, actually. So, we're going to go to Pennsylvania here, where a hunter recently lost his life in an accidental fire. Just figuring how the heck did that happen, right? So we got 76-year-old Ray Seville Jr. died while hunting deer in Belfast Township on Saturday, November 25th. That was the opening day of rifle season there, when a fire caught in his tree stand. So in the early morning, Fulton County coroner said Seville's wife had just brought him his lunch and was with him when the accident occurred. The fire ignited when Mr. Seville tried to turn on a propane heater. I don't know if it was a Big Buddy or whatever. My Big Buddy, I mean, I had some flame out on it once or twice, but that usually I have no problem with that. So I don't know what kind of heater it was. According to Chambersburg Public Opinion, the flame shot out from the bottom of the heater and quickly moved to the floor of the tree stand. Seville tried to escape, but had mobility issues. I'm 76 years old, understandable. His wife tried to pull him out of the tree stand. Man, I don't know if you'd pulled him out of the tree stand, he'd have fell like that. It might have been bad situation either way. But yeah, I understand trying to get him out instead of burning to death, for Christ's sake. Where was I at here? He tried to pull him out of the tree stand, to do so because heavy smoke. Sauter suspects the hose from the propane tank to the heater have been chewed on by wildlife. Freaking mice, probably, and that this had caused the flammable fuel to leak out in the tree stand and perhaps under Seville's clothes. Okay, into his clothes. Well, maybe it got in there, and man, it sounds like almost like he got lit up, like it was in his clothes. Man, yeah. Though Seville's wife quickly called 911, Seville was pronounced dead at the scene at 8:30. Later testing found Mr. Seville had perished from smoke inhalation. All right, well, understandable if he's up there and everything's on fire and you're 76. And, rough story there. So just a little something different I'd add in there. Be careful if you're in your tree stand with the heater. I don't know that too many people around here do that. Obviously, I got them in my hunting shack, and a lot of my friends do. Lynette, yeah, that is awful, Lynette. It's an awful story. I'm not laughing because of what happened. I don't know why I laugh, but it is awful. Just because I'm talking about all this other stuff, and then I bring that in. So we're gonna cheer it up after that one with some deer stuff, which I told you, Josh Patterson's son. He sent something to Clayton, and I got it. Got his first archery deer. He got it, and it got away from. He thought maybe he didn't get that good of a shot, and apparently they tracked it for a while and lost the blood trail. Couldn't find it. Backed out and figured they'd go look the next day. Still couldn't find it. Well, and then less than 2 weeks later, a farmer rancher sent Josh a picture. Found the young boy's buck, and coyotes, as understandable, chewed all the meat off, nothing left probably except the antlers. And they, Josh's son said immediately, hey, the right thing to do here is tag this and keep it, which is awesome, man. That's what I would have done too. So they got it, and they're going to get a nice Euro mount on it, and hopefully, lesson learned though, right, Josh? Just because you stick one or you shoot one doesn't mean you're going to recover it, which happened to us during opening day of rifle season. A friend of mine with a rifle. But yeah, that's just something that happens. It's part of hunting. I've been fortunate. I've found all mine. I almost lost the one this year, thanks to my buddy Trav for having a good eye and seeing it. But yeah, Josh, congrats to your son. I know he was still jacked up either way, getting them antlers, and you're gonna have a great story to tell. Down the road about that first deer he ever put an arrow in. So. And Josh said right here, yep, it happens. Sucks when it does, but it does happen. All right, one more. I'm going to get you guys with one more deer story here, and then I think we're going to go to our double ad. This takes us to Minnesota, which is where I'm going for Christmas. My family and I, to my aunt and uncle's place, which is funny. It's Deerwoods where they live. Talking about deer. Great place up there. Not anything like Minneapolis. I'm looking forward to going there. It's beautiful country up there. It's east of Brainerd. I mean, good people up there, real good people. But we've all had problems with our deer population here. Deer harvest. Clay and I talked about that, I think, last week, how it was down. And Minnesota is lagging behind 2022's total after the start of the muzzleloader season. This story was out December 7th. So as of December 3rd, Minnesota's total deer harvest was 151,794, which is behind 2022's tally of 164,006. This year's harvest is 12% behind the 5-year mean of 170,082. Minnesota's deer firearm season concluded November 26th with the end of the 3B hunt. They got a lot of weird different hunts there, so I couldn't tell you which one. Depredation hunts and all this stuff, and chronic wasting hunts. And the deer harvest numbers remain down by Minnesota's deer, down by 7% compared to 2022. And there are few deer hunting opportunities left, like muzzleloader. Okay, it ended December 10th, so that's over. Archery, I don't know how long Minnesota's deer archery goes, but here it goes till the first weekend in January, I do believe, just like pheasant. And Todd Froberg, Minnesota's DNR Big Game Program Coordinator, says he expects that 7% to stay consistent through the last month. And if so, this will be the 4th straight year of the decreased deer harvest totals in Minnesota, which sucks. But, somebody's probably going to say, oh, something's happening and we got to, sometimes there's just cycles. But there is big stories there of wolves killing a lot of deer, which, I'm not going to go down that trail tonight, but I'm definitely a fan of learning from our ancestors, and what they did was clean all the wolves out because the wolves cleaned out all the wildlife that we eat. So I'm gonna get to a few comments here. Let's see here. Josh said his boys watching too. Awesome, thank you. That's thanks for watching. Appreciate that. And Lynette says, did you see the story on the news about a guy that got to tag a deer, dragging a dead deer through the? Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, a guy actually with his bow got two whitetails. One was dead, and he come across them locked together, and he arrowed the one, and then called Game and Fish, and he got to keep both of them, which is awesome. Craig Bjornson, good evening. Evening, Craig. I'm going to be going to Idaho on the 29th for some wolf and coyote hunting, and I'm going to be using my Savage 243. Do you think that's a big enough rifle? Some guys say they would be using something bigger. Craig, I know guys who wolf hunt, and 243 is absolutely big enough. Most guys I know that hunt wolves will tell you that wolves are big, but they're not very tough animals. I know a lot of guys who actually shot them with 223s at 200-300 yards and dumped them. They said that is absolutely no problem. And for sure, coyotes. I mean, for sure, obviously a coyote with a 243, but you will have no problem with that 243 killing wolves. And from what I've heard, and from what people have told me who are big, way bigger wolf hunters, guys I know that went to Canada and shot huge wolves up there, and I think in fact that's what he used, was a 243. So Eric Newman says, awesome, Craig. Heck yeah, 243 is plenty good quality bullet in the boiler room, and you're good to go. I couldn't agree more. One shot cap, filled my double doe tags, Haycon County, South Dakota, 2 shots. Woof. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Leon Francis replying to Craig, 243 is heavy enough for sure. I mean, soft point probably, even, 243s I actually seen just like the federal, I think they're hunter grain, just like Power Shock. Power Shock's good, affordable ammo, but man, I've seen that shoot awesome out of 243s, or even the Hornady American Whitetail worked great. Eric Newman, smoke a pack for the wolves. For sure. Or hey, Leon, you bet Creedmoor. Creedmoor is, he gets a lot of crap about being a man bun cartridge, but Creedmoor kicks ass. I love the Creedmoor, man. I kind of sad I had to kind of move on from that because of a shoulder injury. I love that thing. It had plenty of power out to 500 yards and was ultra accurate. I'm gonna have a video out about my Grendel. I did some tests on it, did a video out at Axe's place, shot real good and surprised me with the velocity and the bullets I used. But all right, we're gonna do our double ad here. Like I said, just bear with me because it's just me running the show here. And where is that double ad? All right, double ad. We're gonna come back. There's a recall. We got an ammo recall we're going to talk about on some rimfire ammo. And I told you we got a Crooksby stupid story with guns. And then speaking of federal ammo, got a little tidbit here about federal ammo. So hang in there, guys. Appreciate you hanging in with me. You're going to do the double ad here and come back. And, like I said, I'm going to throw a question at you guys here to get a little more input from the audience about some stuff here. So hang on. Here we go.
Lauer Auto Repair. They're located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, or give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can tackle any problem your vehicle is having, and when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with the Pro Second Amendment America First Repair Shop. There's plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area, but why take the chance of patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake, Lauer Auto is your Pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them you heard they're a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our Pro Second Amendment, Pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308, located at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Guns and the 701 is sponsored by the Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, the Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com.
Absolutely. Blind Guy's been with us damn near as long as Lauer Auto Repair. And like I said, if you do business with our sponsors, make sure you tell them you appreciate them sponsoring pro Second Amendment shows like this. And, spread the word. Spread the word that they're a great North Dakota company. And they'll support your rights, and they support shows that support your rights. So, Eric says Craig may be from Iowa, but he don't have a man bun, so he don't shoot a Creedmoor. Oh man, I've never had a man bun, and I love Creedmoor. Creedmoor is kind of known as the man bun, cartridge. I'm not sure why, but like I said, 223 is definitely God's cartridge, so we have established that on here, and the military's established that as well, but. Okay, speaking of ammunition, consumer recall, product recall from Remington Rimfire Subsonic 22 long rifle. Remington has determined that a certain lot code of Remington Subsonic 22 LR 100 pack ammunition may contain rounds with an insufficient crimp and proper powder charge. Use of this product may result in firearm damage and or personal injury, or maybe even your suppressor, maybe you get a baffle strike, I don't know. This issue is associated with lot number P25HB4. That lot number again, P25HB4. And like I said, Remington, the company advises consumers to check the lot number before using any of the subsonic ammunition. Index number on the box, S22HPA, part number 21137. And like I said, lot code P25HB4. Lot codes are stamped along the exterior of the individual 100 pack plastic tray and along the exterior of the case back. Subsonic ammo is frequently used in conjunction with suppressors, so check specialized stores of ammunition purchased specifically for this purpose. This recall does not affect standard and high velocity ammunition available from Remington. Only the specifically branded subsonic line of ammunition. Hey, that's my Obama. If you have recently purchased any Remington Subsonic 22 with the lot number P25HB4, Remington will exchange this product at no charge. For questions or to arrange for the exchange or refund of this Subsonic 22 ammo, please contact Remington customer service at 1-800-243-9700. Remington customer service, 1-800-243-9700. Hey, we were just talking about the 243. So I don't shoot subsonic. It is pretty awesomely quiet, but to me, the loss in velocity, it annoys me. I mean, it probably doesn't really make that big a difference, but it does annoy me. So I just shoot standard, even not a suppressed one. To me, standard velocity is quiet, but yeah, the subsonic, that's like movie quiet. That's just, you just hear the steel ring and that's about it. So, Craig here, we've been talking with Craig about wolf hunting calibers and ammo. He says, perfect. Yeah, I should be going to Minnesota to shoot some wolves. The DNR probably wouldn't like that, but there are way too many wolves in Minnesota. Absolutely there are, Craig. I mean, I've been reading a lot about that, and it's always funny when you see that on social media, and then the I don't know what you want to call them. I don't like that animal rights people. I think they're more like crazy people who don't have common sense. Just go ape shit over people who want to shoot wolves and get rid of them. And we're in there. Now the world's everybody's. I mean, humans are the apex predator. And wolves are predators of deer, and guess what? We like deer, and wolves kill deer, and we can kill wolves. That's the way it should be. In fact, when there's too many of them, thin them out. I guess I'm not really for, I don't know, something like wolves, maybe not to extinction, but when they're affecting deer hunting or getting people's cattle or killing all the elk, which they do for fun. They don't just kill what they eat. It's documented. They just kill shit for the hell of it. Well, guess what? Then it's time for us to take care of business on them too. So, all right, we got I got a crooks be stupid story kind of thing here. Definitely pertains to guns. So this is out of I think Indiana. Uh, Chris Boyd, Christopher Boyd, apparently not familiar with the phrase "nothing good happens after 2 a.m." was a passenger in a vehicle that was pulled over. Yeah, right here in Evansville, Indiana, early Monday morning. The vehicle was reportedly stopped due to an obstructed license plate. Man, keep that license plate clear and make sure they can see the tabs on your license plate lights are always working. Apparently, he's not up to speed on that either. The driver and another passenger in the vehicle were released after searches by officers. Boyd was not as lucky, on the other hand. He had goodies hidden all over his body. Oh boy, I think some of us know where this story's going, right? Officers officers initially found a small bag with multiple pills stuffed in a 32-year-old's sock. A gift he claimed was given to him by his aunt to help with the pain he suffered from because of a bullet he had lodged in his spine. The alleged spinal injury came up again when Boyd told officers he wasn't able to spread his legs during the search. When asked if he had anything in his groin or his ass, he told officers no. Well, that wasn't exactly a truthful statement from Mr. Boyd. In fact, he was hiding items in both areas. After arriving at the county jail, officers noted that Boyd was walking with a limp and appeared to be clenching his ass cheeks when he walked. A body scan quickly revealed the reason for the limp. He had a large object concealed in his groin area. The next step was a strip search, which revealed he was packing a Smith & Wesson bodyguard in his ass. Yeah, if anybody knows what a Smith & Wesson bodyguard is, it's it's smaller, lightweight 380 handgun, semi-automatic, weighs less than a pound. These guys say here roughly 5 inches long and quote easy to carry, which I would assume that means in other places and not your a-hole. I like Smith & Wesson bodyguards. Some people I know got them. They shoot good. I don't recommend ever sticking one up your rear end. That looks like it'd be quite painful to me. But for some extra fun, Boyd also had 2 bags of weed tucked next to his bean bag. I'm starting to think his aunt didn't give him them pain meds for that spinal injury. In another bit of bad luck for Mr. Boyd, oh boy, Indiana has not legalized recreational marijuana use. So Boyd was hit with that charge as well as several others, including an unlawful carrying of a handgun. I don't know if you want to really call that a carrying, but okay, it works for me. Oh boy, and guess what? Here we go. Boyd has prior convictions for attempted murder, burglary, and domestic battery. He was not supposed to be carrying a gun in his ass or otherwise. So I'm glad the Indiana police took care of Mr. Boyd and maybe relieved him of that ache he had in his rear end where he was walking with the limp. So I don't know if Clay likes to talk about them North American Arms Derringers. I don't know if, they're pretty small, but I don't know if you want to even try one of those up there. So let's get to some comments here. That's why our eyes face forward too. Brian's talking about being a predator. Exactly right, Brian. So you can see through the scope when you're sniping a wolf. Just a matter of time until they're here, just like wild hogs. Yeah, exactly right, Lynette. And they're talking about these freaking grizzly bears coming here too, which not a fan. Ouch, Lynette says in all caps for sure. Leon Francis, wow, so dude's definitely not straight. Yeah. Well, if he was in prison, he might they might have stretched the pouch out for him a little bit when he was in there, Leon. I don't know. Maybe that 5-inch 380 fit pretty easy. Josh Patterson, a guy told me a story about a guy that was arrested in Vegas had a Glock 19 in his prison wallet. I guess if nobody knows what a prison wallet is, I'm definitely going to assume that's an a-hole there. Never heard it. That's funny right there. Oh man. Craig Bjorns, did you see the DNR just released 5 wolves in Colorado on public land? Maybe it shouldn't, but it just pissed me off then. Yeah, it pissed me off. That pisses me off too when they do stuff like that, Craig. You should be pissed. It's they're not supposed to be there, in my opinion. And they were, like I said, we should learn from our ancestors who thinned these suckers out, who killed off cattle and everything else. But I guess a lot of liberals in charge of government agencies believe they know a hell of a lot better than people who built this country. But that's another story for another show, I guess. So we're gonna stick with a little ammo story right here. Again, I was just talking about ammo a few stories ago. This is a little better one though. This is not a recall. Well, better if Clay was here, he probably would. He'd probably get fired up about this a little bit. But Federal Ammunition renewed its national sponsorship of PF, Pheasants Forever, and Quail Forever. I didn't know there was such a thing as Quail Forever earlier this year, which included its title as the official ammunition sponsor of the Habitat Organization. Okay, whatever the Habitat. I guess that means Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever's Habitat. The renewal continues a partnership, which I didn't know this. I didn't even know this partnership that was existed since the mid 1980s between the world's leading ammunition manufacturer and North America's foremost upland habitat conservative group. Yeah, so Federal Ammunition. I wonder if they sponsor like deer organizations too. Mule deer. The reason I said Clay will get worked up a little bit because PF, they're not exactly landowner friendly. So I don't know about Quail Forever, but maybe. Federal is proud of this relationship we have, is what they said. We have the ability to see the outcomes of such strong conservation efforts that the organization put forth. And included in its sponsorship, Federal Ammunition has an on-box royalty program that donates portions of proceeds from the popular Prairie Storm, which, I think everybody's seen Prairie Storm ammunition during pheasant season, and Upland high-velocity shot shell ammo, which I did when I hunted. I used Federal. It was the high-velocity stuff. When I haven't hunted pheasants in a while, but that's what I used. The high-velocity, like I said, high-velocity shot shell ammo lines to Habitat conservation projects nationwide. Okay, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. I do like when they help out these organizations for habitat, but some of the things they do, I don't know. Do you got to take good with the bad, or should you just tell them to beat it and GFY? I don't know. Federal will also be presenting sponsor at the upcoming National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic, March 1st through the 3rd, 2024. At the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm Denny Sanford. I guess I don't know anything about the guy, but I've heard something on KFire 550. I think, what's his name on Tuesdays? Dr. Ted Tuesdays. Yeah, he's not a big fan of Denny Sanford, but I guess Federal Ammunition, big sponsor of, Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever and Habitat. And so maybe good for them. Maybe depend on what you think of either of them organizations, bad. So, I guess it seems to me it's all right. I like it when ammunition companies get involved. I wish they'd get involved with Guns in the 701, but they have not. So, all right, we're gonna go. Here's what we're gonna hit on next. I think everybody's familiar who's watched a show a time or two with this bumper music means here. And before I go any further, if you're the kind of person who tries to hide a 380 up your asshole.
Nasty person.
There we go. I kind of blew that one, but sorry about that. Anyway, happy ending of the week. We're going to a 43-year-old taxi driver in Metairie, I think I said that right, Louisiana, was in his cab during the early morning hours of August 21st when a man approached and pointed a gun at him while demanding money. The cab driver, obviously fearing for his life, understandable, shot the assailant multiple times, killing him. Good. There's your happy ending right there before I get to the way end of the story. Sheriff's Office investigator said the suspect was likely the same person who had held up 2 other taxis in the week preceding this incident. No charges were expected to be filed against the armed citizen. That was coming to you, NOLA.com, New Orleans, Louisiana, August 24th, 2023. Yeah, and yes, that's why is that happy, JD? In case I'm, like I said, happy ending is a scumbag. He's dead. He's not going to interfere with good law-abiding people like the taxi guy just out there trying to make a living. This jerk tries to come and rob him and possibly kill him or injure him for the rest of his life. Not so. The scumbag goes down, and another happy ending story for everybody here. There you go. All right, Leon corrected me. Leon Brand. Metairie, I grew up around. All right, Leon. I'll tell you, Leon's from Louisiana. He's a raging Cajun for sure. Like that. I like that. Dave Fetting, is that the namesake Sanford that got caught with child porn? Like I said, I don't I don't know, Leon. I thought I heard God, I can't think of Ted. Dr. Ted. Is it Dr. Ted? Yeah, I can't think of his last name right now, but you know that maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just they said it. It sounds like the same thing, but anyway. In case anybody's wondering, yeah, I got this week and next week's going to be my last show. And I got this Friday and the Friday after, Mitchell in the morning. Clay and I do that. Guns in the 701 guys are on there from 8:15 a.m. Central to a little before 9 a.m. Central every Friday. KFYR 5:50 a.m. You can catch that also on 99.7 FM and iHeartRadio, and Clayton multicast that to the Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble channels, just like we're doing now. He doesn't do that one to our website. I'm not leaving on bad terms, so that's so I hope you guys stick around and keep supporting Clayton. I mean, this show is needed. It's a great show. One Shot Cap says yes, it was. I'm assuming he's referring to Dave Fettig there. But yeah, I'm proud to have been a founding father of Guns in the 701 and then doing it. But I got personal reasons for getting out, but that's the way it is. Really appreciate you guys supporting this program. It's awesome, and I hope you, like I said, I hope you keep doing it. I'm definitely going to keep. I'll keep. Hey, in fact, Leon, I'm repping you right here, buddy. 2A701. My buddy Leon gave me this cap. A couple of them actually, and some shirts. But Josh Patterson, I'll be around. I enjoy the show. Great. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. And Clay's going to have some different guests on, I think, every week. And I will be back occasionally to be a guest of Clayton's. And maybe when Clay's gone sometime, I'll fill in for him. I don't know. I'm not going to be on. I don't know what Clay's got going. He is going to keep the program with Todd Mitchell in the morning every Friday. I'll be listening to that. I'll be whistling. I was reading a comment here. I'll be listening to that every Friday when I'm at work for sure. I'm sure it's going to be It's going to be a great show, and they're going to keep doing it that way. So, Leon says, "Sweet swag, brother." Absolutely, it is. This is and Leon, I got that red cap too. That's my river cap, man. I like to represent that. People see that red cap. Where's the Trump guy? You damn right there is. One Shot Cap, great show, JD. Take care. Thank you, One Shot Cap. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. I feel like I was running on doing this program, but I said that before and did it myself. I didn't get much of a chance to, have a couple swigs of my Coors Light, which I like to do. But if if you guys got any questions you wanna hit on here before we're just over an hour. Last time I did this, I tried to keep it right about that time. I could bring up plenty other crap too, but I probably bored you guys enough with my statistical garbage here. I did one thing. I tell you what, one thing I did, because I am a fan of coolers, and my wife will tell you that I have too many coolers. This thing called Mammoth coolers. Have you ever had, like, you're in the dark, you're out, you're fishing or whatever you're doing, you're out hanging out with people around the fire and you can't see what's in your cooler when you lift it up? Mammoth coolers actually made a thing here. It's called the Mammoth Cooler Light. It's got 50 lumens of illumination, and it installs easily. The underside of your cooler lid. You can check this thing out. Search it on. I don't recommend Google. Use something else. But it's powered by 2 AA's and 40-hour runtime. And the lights, they say, never need replacing, and water resistant. And that's actually, you can leave it on or motion activated when you open the top of the cooler. It's not that big. It looks, man, to me, it looks like it's probably like 2 inches long and maybe 1.5 inches deep. It's pretty small, so I don't think it's going to interfere with stuff too much. I'm probably going to get one. They got it $30, but I mean, this thing's supposed to last a lifetime, and I do like to see I have that problem before reaching in there. Coors is water. Eric's not going to give up on me. Eric, I'll tell you what, here we go, Eric. I'm going to have another. I like water. I'm hydrating. I think we got an infiltrator here on my last one. Kesley channel. Hi. Hand pink waving. Yeah, see, that figures, right? I'm going to do one of my last shows here. We get somebody like that. Dougie Wolf. You can do whatever you want, Jamie. You're gonna do get fired. You're gonna get fired. Oh, yeah, this gal person. Okay, I'm not gonna read them comments anymore. Okay, Mike Deakins here. Like I said, I think Michael Deakins is going to be, I think, one of Clay's guests here. I'm not sure how often, but Clay has mentioned that. Where does Clay keep the beer in his studio? Asking for a friend. Clay's not a big beer guy. He likes to drink that Alabama moonshine is what he calls it. Clay had a few too many beers that Second Amendment day. He wasn't shooting, but he did kind of overdo it, and it didn't end up good for him later that evening. But he likes Pendleton too, but when he does a show, he does his Alabama moonshine from his buddies. Eric Newman, I just got a friend request on Commie Book from chronic wasting disease. Yes, Eric, that's actually a good dis-ease. Yeah, that's a good, yes, accept that friend request. They have good information on there. They're on our team. Lynette, great work, Jamie. We will look for the shorts. All right, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep doing some short stuff. I do enjoy, actually. I enjoy doing this for sure, but I enjoy doing the video aspect of stuff a lot better. Not because I think I have a pretty face. I just enjoy that a lot more. I love shooting guns, testing guns, talking about, as evidenced by tonight, I can ramble on pretty good when I get to talking about guns and gear, and I mean, I'm definitely well versed in gun control stuff too, but it's just the time invested in doing both of those things. And a lot of people don't think it takes time to buff up on these shows when you're a gun nut and you like guns, but it does. It takes up a lot of time because we got this show and then we got Todd's show. And then if you shoot a video or two, and then you got to do that and take the time to go do it, which, like I said, I'm basically doing that anyways a lot of time, but then you got to edit them down. And it all takes time. So I'm just, what Dave Fetting. Yeah, this Kesley channel is probably it is a bot, Lynette. I've been looking at. Yes, sir. How are you? Oh, I'm doing great, Kesley. Dave Fetting, make sure you're wearing pants while doing shorts. Except in the summer, buddy. Except in the summer, but I definitely am now. So, like I said, you probably see me around doing shorts of some sort. So. Leon Francis says, make every town Kennesaw, Georgia, which Kennesaw, Georgia, if nobody knows, their city council years ago made it a city ordinance that everybody has to own a gun. And Kennesaw's crime rate has went down and stayed low, I do believe, ever since then. So you don't have to do shorts of shorts. LOL, Eric. Maybe I will. I've never did that before, Eric, but all right, guys. Unless anybody's got something to add here, I'm gonna do a little credit thing here, what Clay and I usually do, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. But had good audience tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Had fun doing it. And Brian, Merry Christmas all. Merry Christmas to you, Brian, and Merry Christmas to everybody. And like I said, make sure you get on there to the Crystal Beard family on the GoFundMe, and then help the Beards out with, they got a terrible deal there. I talked to at the beginning of the show. And Clay and I'll probably bring it up on Friday on Todd's show, actually, too. I promise I won't get as emotional on Friday when we do it. But stuff happens to your lifelong friends, and it's hard to take. So, but yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Dave Fettig, Merry Christmas, all. Merry Christmas to you, Dave. Josh, did someone post a link to go? I'll tell you what, Josh, I can't do it on my computer, but when the show's over, I'll promise I will put a GoFundMe link to it on our Facebook page, and Clayton will probably put it on Rumble. I don't have a Rumble account. Clay runs that, but I'll promise you when the show's over, I will post that GoFundMe link for Chris Beard on our Facebook page. So, and appreciate it if you guys would share that when I get it on there. So, and I sent a text, Dave, I texted you the link to that. So go ahead and share that with anybody you know who knows the Beard family. So Merry Christmas to you, Lynette. I'm sure I'll be seeing you a lot in the coming weeks. You're out shooting and having some fun out there. But all right, guys, like I said, great show. Appreciate everybody. Really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Had fun talking about guns and gear and a little politics right at the beginning. So Merry Christmas, everybody. I'll see you next Wednesday and hopefully talk to you Friday. Like I said, Mitchell in the morning, KFYR 5:50 a.m., 8:15 a.m. Central every Friday. Clayton and I are on there till about 8:55. We do about four topics we hit on there on that segment. And if you don't listen to KFYR 5:50 a.m., you can catch it 99.7 FM. iHeartRadio, KFYR on there. iHeart app is free. And Clayton simulcasts the show on the Facebook, YouTube, and our Rumble channel. So you can check that out on there as well. Merry Christmas, Josh. Thanks, buddy. Dave Fettig, he's chipped in a few bucks. All right, Dave, I appreciate that, man. You're awesome. Thank you for doing that. So without anything else, guys, talk to you Friday, and next Wednesday is my last show. I hope you guys all tune in for that. I don't know that we're going to do anything special, just Clay and I doing what we do. Should be a good show either way with some good info. But everybody, again, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Yeah, I will get you that next year, but Merry Christmas. I hope everybody has a safe travels on Christmas. And you're back here next week listening to Guns in the 701. And spread the word. Appreciate you guys. You have a good one. JD, I'm out.